Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures if you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be. But you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place as you listen to The Bright Side. Every day you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are your go-to source for all things health and nutrition. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase longevity products, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And you can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off those websites as well, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470. Check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Got new products up and holiday specials coming up and Black Friday specials coming up. We also have a skin health blog on our Truth Treatments website, truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, surfactants, water, silicone, oil, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our Truth Treatments. Truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side. We've been spending some time talking about the skin. We'll continue talking about the skin for a little bit. Everybody's fascinated with the skin. The skin sure does get a lot of attention for something that's on the outside of the body. It is an organ nonetheless. It's the body's largest organ. Weighs probably 8 to 10 pounds, something like that. That's a pretty heavy organ when you think about it. It doesn't look like an organ. It looks like just a surface, and that's how we treat it. We treat it like a surface. I was just reading an article from Well-Being Journal. Carcinogens in clothing and cosmetics. It turns out that cosmetics are a major source of carcinogens. We're surrounded with carcinogens, but do you really want to rub it on your skin? If you have to rub a lot of product on your skin, there's a problem. The skin's an organ. You can feed the cells underneath the surface of the skin if you dose yourself properly, but slathering is not a good idea. The only reason we think slathering is a good idea is because we don't understand the skin as an organ. And in fairness, the surface of it is composed of dead cells, so it's somewhat forgiving, and it's constantly turning itself over. So it has a sort of resilient nature to it, and I understand this, but rubbing stuff on the skin, eventually, if you rub the same thing in the skin, eventually it's going to start to accumulate, especially preservatives and carcinogens. Skin needs to be respected as far as skincare products go. That's why I came out with my Truth Skin Health products. You shouldn't have to put more than a couple drops of something on your skin. If you have to put more than a couple drops of something on your skin, you're putting a lot of stuff on there that your skin doesn't want. You want to dose your skincare products. You want to be able to treat your skincare products like they're medicine. You dose medicine. You should dose skin, and I call it skin health. The skin, the topical products we put on the skin should be health products that facilitate health, i.e. healing. You should be able to put your moisturizer or your anti-aging product on a cut or scrape because it should heal. Healing and beauty are the same mechanisms. Healing is beauty. Health is beauty. We don't even want beauty. We want health. We think we want beauty. Beauty is about health. You can't be beautiful without being healthy. The health precedes beauty like the cart precedes the horse, or the horse precedes the cart, or depending on how you look at it, I suppose. Anyway, health first, beauty second. That's my point. All right, so last we spoke, we were talking about melasma, hyperpigmentation, which seems like it's a superficial kind of thing. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but it's a sign of something that's a big deal. And in this way, treating the skin or taking care of the skin or addressing the skin or understanding the skin, speaking skin. You have to speak skin. If you could see symptoms for what they are, you can save somebody's life. You can save your life. And that's not an exaggeration. If you catch hyperpigmentation early enough, you could save yourself from reproductive cancers. Estrogen metabolism is behind, or poor estrogen metabolism is behind a lot of cases of melasma. Melasma is an estrogen issue in many cases. It can also involve cortisol, the stress hormone cortisol. Between estrogen and cortisol, you have the main reason why the skin hyperpigments. And if you have long-term, long-standing estrogen issues, estrogen clearance issues, in combination with cortisol issues that show up as pigment, and you just ignore it and keep trying to take care of the pigment with cream, you're running higher risk for estrogenic health challenges, cortisol-based health challenges, which is pretty much everything. So by catching, or by understanding, I should say, by speaking skin, understanding the language of the skin, and treating melasma at the level of the hormones, at the level of cortisol, at the level of estrogen, you could do a lot of things, not only to really take care of the problem, but to prevent future issues. And that's the gift of the skin. That's the gift, the real gift of skincare problems, or skin health problems. The real gift of psoriasis is that it's telling you something. The real gift of eczema is it's telling you something. The real gift of any skin health challenge is it's telling you something. The skin is a communicating system if you speak skin, if you understand the language of the skin. Just because you have a degree, in a medical degree, or even a esthetician's degree or a skincare professional's degree, doesn't mean you necessarily speak skin. You got to understand, and just because you don't have those degrees doesn't mean you don't speak skin. Speaking skin is a matter of intuition in combination with understanding biology or chemistry or biochemistry. The combination of intuition and understanding the chemistry of the body, the biology of the body, is, or the skin, is how you speak skin, and of the body is how you speak body. The skin, everything we're talking about the skin here is like a poster child for the rest of the body. It's like an icon for the rest of the body. What's true about the skin is true about the rest of the body. And if you speak skin, you can take melasma and you can backtrack it to hormonal changes, and you can start to work with it, and you can eliminate the melasma for reals, and you can prevent further problems. Likewise, if you speak body and you see obesity, or if you hear joint disease, if you start to hear symptoms and you can put the symptoms together, or collect the symptoms, collect the points, the data points together, and then plug it in with your understanding of how the body works plus intuition, you could pretty much understand everything in the body. That's what medicine gets wrong. Medicine thinks that you can treat symptoms with a standard protocol without understanding what's going on in the body that's causing those symptoms. That's why we don't get better. That's why, despite the fact that we have a regenerating body that heals itself all the time, or regenerates itself all the body, and we have a regenerating skin, which does the same thing except 10 times faster. Skin moves really fast. You have new skin. Your skin cells turn themselves over every 4 to 8 weeks. So you have skin and a body that's regenerating itself over and over and over again, and yet we're still sick, and we still don't get better. We still have chronic, long-term, progressive diseases in the face of a body that regenerates itself. It's a major disconnect, and it's because we don't go back to the symptoms, and the skin is just a classic example. That melasma is a classic skincare issue. I'll tell you about how to deal with it for real, and how to deal with it superficially when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open, 844-236-6010. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about skin health or skin care products, skin health products, if you have a testimonial that you'd like to share, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls next segment. And if you want to purchase longevity products, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470. Truth Skin Health products can be purchased at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. We're talking about melasma, hyperpigmentation, dark spots, if you will. First thing about dark spots, the very first thing, is you want to distinguish dark spots on the surface of the skin from dark spots inside the skin, or in the lower levels of the skin that you can kind of see through the skin too, like you're looking under water or something. Imagine looking at something, a penny that's at the bottom of a pool. You look underneath and you see the penny kind of through the water. That's sort of what's happening when you have something called lipofuscin. Lipofuscin is the aging pigment, and it gets mixed up with melanin, which is on the surface of the skin all the time. We don't make that distinction. We're never even taught to make that distinction. Doctors don't even make that distinction, for that matter. Lipofuscin is not anything to be trifled with. It's a sign that the body is not clearing out its toxins effectively. It's a sign that the cellular detoxification systems are becoming overwhelmed. And you want to start moving your body, number one, improve lymphatic drainage if you have lipofuscin accumulating. You want to start getting on supplements, number two. And you want to, if you're doing all that, and a lot of people are doing that and they still have lipofuscin supplements, you want to start paying really close attention to toxicity. You know, we can handle a certain amount of toxicity from our environment as we're younger, but that accumulates, and there's a fixed amount of toxicity that the human body is going to be subjected to just by living on planet Earth in the year 2020 almost, 2019. So there's a baseline fixed amount of toxicity that we're going to all have to deal with, and there's nothing you can do about that. But what you can do is you can stop yourself from voluntarily subjecting yourself to toxicity, which we do all the time, voluntarily, unconsciously, by rubbing skincare products on, by drinking, by using fluoridated toothpaste, by drinking fluoridated and chlorinated water. There's all kinds of ways we voluntarily add to the load of toxicity, and lipofuscin is just an inevitable part of the aging process if we're going to live on planet Earth in 2019, and then on top of that, give our bodies all kinds of work to do. So that's how it is. However, melasma is a little easier to deal with because that's on the surface, and the skin is already has a tendency to shed. So what happens is you got skin cells. The skin cells actually make pigment, but then they do something very interesting. They inject the pigment. I'm sorry, the pigment cells make the pigment, and then they do something very interesting. They inject the pigment into skin cells. Just like those planes that do mid-air fueling where they drop the hose down into another plane, that's how a cell will inject its melanin, a pigment cell will inject its melanin into an ordinary skin cell. Why is that important? Well, ordinary skin cells are constantly turning over. They're constantly moving upwards, and then they're being shed. So theoretically, if you can get rid of your melasma and take care of yourself topically and take care of yourself internally, you should never have melasma again. Theoretically, of course, we don't do it right. So the melanin, the pigment, is constantly moving upwards and then shedding, moving upward. Unlike the lipofuscin, which is staying down deep, the melasma is rising and shedding and rising and shedding, and that gives you a lot of opportunities here. You can also work on the production of the pigment at the level of the pigment cell. Pigment cell is called the melanocyte. Cyte means cell. Keratinocyte is a cell that makes keratin. That's a skin cell because it makes keratin. They call it a keratinocyte. Keratin's like a hard protein. A melanocyte makes melanin. Melanocyte. The melanocytes are what go crazy when you have melanoma. And there's a reason why melanoma has a reputation for being the most deadly of cancers. Why? Because melanocytes are super active. Melanin, pigment, is a major electrically active substance. When I say active, I mean electrically active. Melanocytes are the cells that make melanin. They are electrical dynamos. The melanocyte, melanin is an amazing substance. It has electroconductive properties based on its chemical structure. All molecules have electroconductive properties, but melanin really does. In fact, melanin is high tech researchers are trying to develop melanin computer chips. Melanin actually acts because of its ability to conduct electricity so effectively. It can be leveraged, this very unique property can be leveraged for technology. Anyway, melasma should be treated with two different strategies. Hyperpigmentation should be treated with two different strategies. Number one, topical. Number two, internal. Internal is the most important. But the internal stuff is going to get tomorrow's melasma. Today's melasma can be lightened with vitamins, topical vitamins. And the most important topical vitamins for lightening the skin are retinol, which is vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin B3, niacin, topically, all of these. Retinol is probably the quickest and the most dramatic. You got to be careful with retinol a little bit. In fact, I'll talk about that here in a second. Vitamin C, you don't have to be careful with. Vitamin C is a very effective skin lightening product, fat soluble. The water soluble is okay, and it will lighten the skin too, but the fat soluble really works super effective. I like the fat soluble because the skin is a fatty organ. We've talked about this, and penetration is very important. It's expensive. I noticed, I posted some stuff on vitamin C, and there are people who are saying, oh, I make my own with vitamin C powder, or I just use the ordinary, or I don't know if you guys have caught or on my Facebook page for the truth. And you got to know vitamin C is not all the same thing. There's water-soluble vitamin C, which is cheap and not very effective and oxidizes, turns brown. And there's the good stuff. The good stuff's expensive. People say, oh, that's too expensive. Really? If anybody thinks that my $200 an ounce bottle of transdermal C serum is too expensive, then you're not doing the math. The standard skincare product is 10%. Not even. It's like 5% to 10%, somewhere in there active. If you're lucky and it's a medical professional product, 5 to 10%, maybe up to 20. The rest is water and filler and wax, and that's what you're paying for. So $200 an ounce doesn't take into account the fact that you're dosing yourself with Truth Transdermal C Serum, and it doesn't have any of the crap in it either. You don't have to deal with the preservatives. You want to dose yourself with skin health products, not slather. Dose yourself. Anyway, vitamin C is super effective as a skin lightener. Not as quick as retinol, but very effective in its fat-soluble form. And vitamin B3, niacin. Really very fascinating topical vitamin that is, we've only really started to understand the power of topical niacin probably in the last maybe the last 15, 20 years. Topical niacin, and we know niacin is very important for the skin because pellagra, which is niacin deficiency disease, one of the major signs is skin problems. In fact, eczema could very well be a vitamin B3 deficiency because it's not eczema, sensitive skin and eczema could very well be a vitamin B3 deficiency. That's one of the signs of a vitamin B3 deficiency. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. We're back on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lines open for you, which we will get to you. We'll get your calls here in just a minute. Got a couple stories I want to read. 844-236-6010 is our number. This is from Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Blueberry antioxidants protect against cancer. Hepatocellular carcinoma is one of the most common of primary liver cancers and the third leading cause of cancer death worldwide. And it turns out that blueberries, actually an active ingredient in blueberries, pterostilbene, which is a flavonoid. We talked about that probably last year. We talked about pterostilbene. It's a chemical called a flavonoid, and apparently it's protective against cancer. No surprise. Pterostilbene and other compounds that are found in veggies and fruits are very cancer protective. The pigments are cancer protective, and periodically you'll hear about blueberries for the brain, and you'll hear about the health benefits of berries, and indeed, berries are probably if not the healthiest, they're among the healthiest. They probably are the healthiest because they got lots of skin. The peel to pulp ratio, what I call the peel to pulp ratio, is an indicator of how powerful medicine, how medicinal or how powerful a medicine a particular fruit will be. So something has a less pulp compared to the peel, that is a higher peel to pulp ratio, if you want to put it that way, more peel than pulp. You're going to have a really powerful medicine, a really powerful fruit medicine. Fruits are the ones that have peels. So blueberries, as it turns out, are super, super powerful. The blue and the pigments in general, reds and blues and greens, that's where the power is in fruits and veggies, is in the colors. The colors serve two purposes. Number one, they act as protective elements for the plant. And number two, they act as attractive forces for insects. Insects see these colors. They have a unbelievable ability, a really incomprehensibly complex ability to sense color. And these plant pigments act as attractant forces, and they act as defensive molecules. And when we eat them, they act as protective molecules. And that makes these veggies and these pigmented produce, pigmented botanicals, super, super healthy, especially for electrical systems like the eyes, the brain, and the skin, or highly electrical systems. Everything's electrical, but highly electrical systems like the eyes and the brain and the skin. And that makes blueberries protective against protective for all of these systems. And now it turns out the liver as well. Got to be careful. One thing about blueberries and berries in general is they tend to be more pesticide rich because they're smaller and they don't have really thick skins. So the pesticide seeps right in. So that's the downside. And like I was saying before, there's just a downside to being alive in this time period. Of course, there's an upside. But we've really crapped up the environment, and there's not much you can do about it. Nonetheless, blueberries can be a very, very powerful and medicinal food. All right, do one more, and then we'll get your calls. 844-236-6010. Turmeric. Turmeric, which is good for almost everything, stimulates gallbladder function. Turmeric is eating turmeric at the beginning of your meals is a great way to stimulate your bile juices. If you ever had turmeric, you know it has a kind of bitter sort of flavor to it. Not unpleasant, but you can tell it's stimulating, and that stimulating sensation in your mouth triggers activity in the digestive system. That's how horseradish works, and that's how dandelion greens work, and that's how parsley works when you start meals off with these things. Starting these meals off with something that has a sort of bittery, not unpleasant bitter, but just a slightly bittery taste, they call them bitters actually, stimulates gallbladder function. And stimulating gallbladder function is one of the great underappreciated health strategies for longevity and for good health and for nutrient absorption and for digestive wellness. Stimulating the gallbladder will help you digest your food. Stimulating your gallbladder will help improve hormone clearance, stimulating and drug clearance if you're on prescription drugs. And stimulating the gallbladder will improve detoxification through the liver. And, of course, it will prevent gallstones in the long run. And it will help you digest your food better. So stimulating the gallbladder is a major, major, major health strategy with effects all the way downstream, from the stomach down to the large intestine. The entire digestive system, including the liver, benefits from turmeric's ability to stimulate the gallbladder, to increase digestive juices, as well as to increase gallbladder contractions. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Time to hit the phones. Let's say good morning to our good friend Barry in New Orleans, Nolans. What's up, Barry? Welcome to the bright side.
Yes, good morning. Yes, I want to ask you about what would you suggest for the prevention?
For the what?
For preventing, basically just for maintaining good health, especially in regards to. I think I've heard you talk about this fourfold.
Talked about what?
The fourfold quad. You.
Oh, the fourfold square of health.
Yes.
Norm.
Yes,
Nutriate, oxygenate. No, nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. And nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. I used to say oxygenate, but you need to, I'm going to say respirate now because the exhale is just as important as the inhale. Nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. That's the fourfold square of health, what I call it. You got the triangle of disease. We talk about that all the time. Actually, we don't talk about the fourfold square of health as anywhere near as often, which we should. Nutriate, respirate, NRMR. Nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. NRMR. And then that's from the physical standpoint. And, periodically I say this, and I'll say it now. I haven't said it in a while. Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, in that order. You cannot address a health challenge completely and effectively unless you address it on all the levels of being, all the levels of existence, which are spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Life shows up, our bodies show up, for better or worse. Reality shows up for better or worse, depending on how healthy we are and how integrated we are on those four levels: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. And if you think spirituality is something silly and airy-fairy and new agey and crystals and all that and religious, it's not. It's quantum physics. Quantum physics tells us that spirituality is true. That is, everything is united, everything is connected. You can't do one thing on one side of the universe without affecting everything, the other side of the universe. Everything is affected instantaneously. Everything is in superposition. That means everything is possible. There's so many ways spirituality matches up with quantum physics. And quantum physics is considered to be the most accurate science that was ever developed. So spirituality has to be leveraged, and mental and emotional strategies as well have to be leveraged. There's nobody who's sick, truly sick, that doesn't have a spiritual crisis and a mental and emotional crisis as well. Okay? To the degree that they're sick. If they're really seriously sick, it's a serious spiritual crisis, mental and emotional crisis. That being said, from a physical perspective, nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. That's the fourfold square of health. We talk about nutriating all the time, and that is with supplements, with micronutrients, and with food, macronutrients, particularly protein and fat, and then to a certain extent carbohydrates from vegetables, or where you want to get your carbs. All right, Barry, hang on. I'll finish up and come back from our break. And if you're on hold, we'll get to you as well. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We've got lines open. We'll be back after this. We're back on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. I've got lines open for you. We're talking to Barry in New Orleans about, about general health, I suppose you could say. NRMR, nutrient, respirate, move, and rest, mental and emotional strategies, and then spirituality, meaning connection. That's how I define spirituality. Feeling connected so your parasympathetic nervous system can kick in so you feel safe. Feeling safe. Feeling connected means feeling safe, because the only fear is the fear of the unknown. So feeling connected, when you know everything, is a way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Sickness is based on feeling unsafe. That's why it's called dis-ease. You feel unsafe. As far as nutrient, respirate, move, and rest goes, we can talk about that here. Does that help you there, Barry?
Yes. I want to make sure. I think I fully understand it, because it's sort of simple, but my understanding, I want to find out if this is correct. When you say nutrient, basically get good nutrition, oxygenate.
Respirate, because the exhale is important, maybe even more important than the inhale. And
getting oxygen, and also moving the body, which would consist of just moving and exercise. Is that basically... Is my understanding basically correct?
Moving the body, exercise has a bad rap because people who exercise sometimes go crazy. You don't need to exercise a lot. You need to move your body. I don't like the term exercise. Move. So that if you're just walking, you're getting benefits. Just breathing, slow, deep breathing by moving the intercostal muscles, the respiratory muscles in and out can help. Exercise is great. Don't get me wrong. I love exercise. I've been exercising my whole life. It's very important. And the body has a use it or lose it kind of mentality or perspective, I suppose you could say. But when you talk about, I'm talking more about the movement aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? It's movement that you're looking for. And then rest. You know, rest should be the most delicious thing we do should be to rest, right? But a lot of us can't rest. So rest and relaxation is extremely important part of health. People sometimes think it's funny to say that they don't relax or they're always working, or you know, it's not funny. It's a sign of an indicator that you're on the road to not being healthy, you're maybe not healthy already. So rest is really, really important. Nutriate, respirate, and I say respirate meaning inhale and exhale. Move and rest. And nutriate means macronutrients, that is protein, fats, and then carbs, and then micronutrients, your mighty 90 essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. The micronutrients facilitate the macronutrients. They help the body work with the macronutrients. The macronutrients need to be processed via the micronutrients. They work together in nature the way we're supposed to eat. The micronutrients are always accompanying the macronutrients, perfectly balanced in nature. The micronutrients are perfectly balanced for the macronutrients to be handled by the body. But because of food processing, we throw out those micronutrients and then have just the macronutrients, especially just the sugar, just the high energy stuff. So you gotta figure out a way to make sure you're getting enough micronutrients to match your macronutrients. And this is why when people get on a nutritional supplement program, they start to lose weight. They don't eat as much because they're leveraging the macronutrients. They don't need as much macronutrients. They don't need as much protein, fats, and carbs to feel good because they're getting enough micronutrients to leverage what the energy and the macronutrients they're getting. All right, Barry. Does that help you, my friend?
Yes, and okay, and the oxygenate, isn't that,
breathing. Breathing and moving. Moving is also important, but breathing in and out. And you know, to me, breathing is so amazing because think about it. You never stop breathing. You're constantly breathing every moment of the day, every second you're alive, from the birth to death. It's this steady, it's really quite amazing. It's this steady rhythm in your body that we never think about, we don't take advantage of, that's constantly there. Now, it'll work even if you're not consciously paying attention to it, but it works better when you consciously pay attention to it. It works when you consciously pay attention to your breath, it works more effectively. Your inhale is deeper and your exhale is more powerful. And if you do it long enough, you can actually relax the body simply by paying attention to the in and the out of the breath. It's an incredibly powerful tool for health. And to get a prescription for a beta blocker or a calcium channel blocker for hypertension, essential hypertension, without being prescribed or being given proper breathing techniques is just not good medicine, the way I look at it. I mean, knowing about the toxicity of antihypertensives, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, even the more mild ones like the ACE inhibitors, Zestril, and the ones Captopril, the ones that they're using generically a lot now. They came out about 20 years ago, called them ACE inhibitors. They work with the kidneys. They're not quite as disastrous as the calcium channel blockers and the beta blockers, but nonetheless, when the hypertension, controlling the blood, whether it's hypertension or blood thinning, those require serious heavy medications because the blood is controlled. The flow of the blood, the opening and closing of the vasculature, how it moves through the various tissues, including the kidneys and the adrenal glands, that's tightly regulated. The kind of particles that are in the blood, tightly controlled. So to pharmacologically control that mechanism, you got to use heavy-duty medication. Heavy-duty biochemical disruption is required to control blood pressure with drugs, to control blood thinning with drugs, and this makes these drugs extremely toxic. On the other hand, oxygen thins the blood. On the other hand, oxygen opens up the blood vessels. I mean, to me, why wouldn't you prescribe respiratory techniques? Good respiration. I say this all the time. I'll say it again. Don't believe me. Get a blood pressure cuff. Practice take a baseline blood pressure score, and then do slow, deep, rhythmic breathing for 10 minutes, and take your blood pressure again, and watch what happens. I mean, it's very self-evident. Barry, I want to get one more call in, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it when you call. Mary in Oregon, long time no talk to. I assume you're the same Mary. And
Yeah.
welcome to the bright side. What's up, Mary?
Yeah. I have a new cell phone number, so I'll send it to you right after the show. But
Okay, good, Mary. Thank you.
since you left me so little time, you'll have to just listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I got you. I'll just listen. I'm in listening mode.
Last week was not the first time you've heard from callers about carnivore. That was the third time.
Okay.
I've been doing carnivore for years. It is a very good thing to do.
Well, wait a minute. Hey, define your terms. Carnivore meaning only eating meat?
Animal products.
Okay,
But
animal
mostly-
products, not just
but we-
meat. Not just
but we-
meat, only eating animal products.
Well, we
That's
gravitate
different.
towards meat because that winds up being really
Okay.
good.
Well, here's the issue with carnivore. First of all, where are you
Wait
getting
a
your
minute.
vitamin?
No, it's my turn.
Well, hang on, Mary. Where are you getting your vitamin C from?
There's a carnivore conference every year in Boulder. So May 24th and 25th, please go and get
I
your
will.
mind opened up.
I will.
It fixed what longevity could not touch in 18 years in me. Now, longevity did a lot of good things for me, but there were things that longevity couldn't touch.
Okay.
It cut my need for the expensive longevity supplements in half.
Okay, so tell me what I got to ask you this. Tell me what carnivore means to you. Eating lots of meat and what else?
Animal products only.
What specifically? Butter, eggs,
Yes.
fish, that kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your vitamin C from?
You'll find out at the carnivore conference.
Okay, gotcha.
There.
All right. Well, if you
Let
throw
me
some
give you
algae,
names.
if you throw algae in there, I don't know if algae's part of the carnivore diet, is it?
No, it's not. But we're not fundamentalists.
Oh, you're not fundamentalist. You know what? I'm going to look into it. I had not heard of it before. I don't know. I would think I would remember that because that sounds like a very. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. I have to read more. I'm going to be open-minded, like you say.
Good.
I'm going to be open-minded to it. But I want to. Here's the problem, and I don't know how you're going to address
Wait
this.
a minute. Let me tell you this. You don't need fiber. We know that.
Why don't you need
experiencing
fiber?
it. We're living it. We've been
Okay,
living
so that's one thing. I wasn't going to say that, but that's a good point. I think you need fiber. I'm not sure why you say you don't, but that's one thing. And then secondly, the problem with animal foods today, especially meat, is all the crap they feed the animals. I mean, are you controlling for hormones and antibiotics and farm-fed fish and all of that stuff? And maybe you are. I mean, if you do, it might be a little bit better. Mary, I got to go, but I'd love to hear more if you want to call back tomorrow or something, because I would love to hear more. I'm going to do some research on that.
I can't call back tomorrow, but I will call back.
Call back. Have a
Good
beautiful
talking to
day
you.
and happy holidays to you, Mary. Thank you for your call. Appreciate it. All right. I got to look into that because I did. Mary said I've heard of it before, but I don't believe that's the case. In any case, that's all the time we have for today. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for longevity products, and truthtreatments.com for truth skin health products. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. We'll talk to you later, folks. Bye for now.